The Rootkraken is the new main boss from the Winter Update 2024, and it might be harder than I originally thought. I already made a quest video guide for it that includes the boss, so this video is to give an update on some new information about it, because since the update I have tried this boss 6 times and died 2 of those, and I wouldn't want others to die from avoidable situations. Before that, the access to it is still the same, so the quest guide still works and so does most of what I said on that video. What we have changed since then is that upon entering the room, we use firebombs and walls across the edge of the room. The reason is because of the fear mechanic. On our first attempt, while separating Dr. Marrow and the summons away from the Rootkraken, which I still think is the best way to go about it, I got feared next to a wall and then trapped by the summons. Because of the high HP of these summons, killing them with spells is near impossible, and the best way to do it is with the abilities you get from the Rhythm Masses, aka Defilers, or with powerful seeds. However, the position I got trapped was too far from the seed placements, and we also didn't have any on us that time because we thought we would be fine without them. And when my team tried to get me out by attacking the creatures, it didn't do much. Meanwhile, they were exposing themselves to getting higher charges and eventually started getting headshot from the Rootkraken. So since then, we started to place fire across the room so that even when feared, you can't get trapped. After that, split up and go upstairs to grab the spells from the Defilers mechanic. I recommend to wait few seconds to see which ability you get, and do it again in case you get the Twin Burst, since it can hit the majority of obstacles in the maze. Once you have the spells, go south and clear the way in. We've been doing this boss with 3 people, and for the most part it takes 2 trips for each of us. Upon reaching the end, then throw a gold coin on the generator. We have also confirmed that nothing else works for this part, only a gold coin will do the trick, so make sure to have some before you pull the lever. And if not, then there is some crabs across the last floor where you can loot some gold coins. Once you destroy the generator, then attacking the bosses is possible, but first I recommend to go towards the Defilers again to grab a spell. Once everyone has one, then the EK should grab the aggro of creatures and have somebody block the path of the Rootkraken. For us, the Paladin does this, and sometimes if it is easier to block Marrow, he will do that, but be careful and have high earth protection for Marrow, although ideally, you should not let him get melee to begin with. Once we get Marrow and the Kraken apart from each other, then lure them to opposite corners. Then you will be left with Rootkraken and some plants, and for this we place a powerful seed. These seeds are dropped from the Ruthless creatures, and even though during the test server the room will have some respawn inside of it, that is no longer the case, so you must bring them yourself. I still don't think it's absolutely necessary, but it will be a lot harder to do the boss without any. The best seeds for this initial part will be the dark one, which also is very rare. So far we gotten 1 per every 25 regular seeds while hunting. This plant covers the most space and does the most damage. Next will be the pink. This one does a small AoE around, which is highly useful. Then the yellow one does a cross sign, and lastly the red plants, which does an expanding 1-line spell, and because it is less reliable to hit, I consider it the worst one. So to start off the first pool, which tends to have the most summons and also frenzy plants, it's best to start with dark or pink plants, with each player having an ability as well. Also for the plant things, they start off green into rotten version, and after some time passes they get angry and turn yellow. After more time they turn into frenzy and blue. Once they are frenzy, they shoot a wave that gives 50 charges when hit. The higher charges you have, the harder the attacks from Rootkraken will hit. I can't say for certain how much it is, but with 300 charges, it does around 3k with a death hit, and at 700 it was doing around 5.5, and after 1k the hits will go for close to 10k. Needless to say, you must be careful with the charge counter, and whenever it will be high on me as the EK, then the Paladin will start tanking instead, because without the charges it doesn't hit that hard. So the goal should be to kill the plants before they turn frenzy whenever they come. For this, the seeds are the best and easiest way to go, and normally we use about 5 seeds per boss. But you can also go upstairs and grab the abilities from the Defiler. This also helps, but is less reliable. At this stage, I like to use the yellow seeds, because placing the plants on the cross direction is easier to do. The next thing to watch out for is Dr. Marrow, since he can still walk his way towards you. As soon as he shows on the screen, move away, and whoever has the aggro needs to lure it away, because between the two of them, if the EK has some charges, then he could get headshot, especially with the fear and root mechanics. This is how my second death took place on our second attempt, and since then we make sure to start running the moment Marrow shows up. I also have seen some people run around the room and kill Marrow from range first, but I haven't tried doing that, and I feel like that is more risky to do. Lastly, upon going out, there is a shortcut you can take to avoid running through the last floor, and it has less creatures. This also can be used to go down, but through a different path by the southeast boat. It's a bit of a longer run, but it might be safer than running through the last floor, so consider trying it out. With that said, honestly I think this boss is too difficult for the potential drops, and we've been doing it pretty much because we hunt on the area to begin with. I hope it gets a damage reduction because it gets high pretty quick, and at the very least, the seeds that were there during the test server should also be available here, because then you could get 4 seeds for free and rotate them as needed. Anyhow, that's all I got for this video. Remember to check out the quest guide if you still haven't done it and feel like trying the boss with your team now. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to the guild Causality, to Nightstar and Tuna Hero for supporting the channel.